Representative James Comer's nonsense witch hunt against Joe Biden has been hit with yet another setback.
Oh no!
A man House Republicans had previously claimed was a whistleblower on Joe Biden's alleged corruption basically obliterated the GOP's accusations. Interesting. On Tuesday, in a closed-door hearing, longtime Hunter Biden business partner Eric Schwerin testified in front of the House Oversight and Judiciary Committees. In addition to being a Hunter Biden business partner, Schwerin also worked as a financial advisor for Joe Biden from 2009 until 2017. That means he was able to see the transactions in and out of the then vice president's bank account. So this guy had access to the books. Now, he said in prepared remarks, this is an opening statement obtained by the New Republic, based on that insight, I'm not aware of any financial transactions or compensation that Vice President Biden received related to business conducted by any of his family members or their associates, nor any involvement by him in their businesses. Weird. I mean, that doesn't really sound like a whistleblower that's there to help Republicans. Unless, I mean, this doesn't help Republicans at all. He might be a whistleblower who's actually exposing this farce of an investigation by Republicans. Look, they've repeatedly accused Joe Biden from profiting from his son Hunter's business, right? And his overseas business dealings. If that was the case, they could present the evidence of it, but they didn't. In fact, every single time they've had these hearings, these so-called whistleblowers, these witnesses, they all do the same thing. They prove that Republicans have nothing. Nada. Dick. Okay? And Comer had listed Schwerin as one of the many supposed whistleblowers who spoke to Oversight Committee investigators about the Biden family. And again, they basically said, Biden didn't do anything wrong. Sorry. There's nothing here. It's a nothing burger. Just forget about it. All the way back in March, by the way, of last year, Comer said that he had 4 whistleblowers ready to go. This was one of them. When asked by Democrats if there was any new information to share that would corroborate their claims of influence peddling and corruption, Republicans were forced to answer no, because they don't have anything. Nothing. Comer's statements specifically referred to 2 people, Schwerin and Kathy Chung, who worked as Biden's executive assistant when he was vice president. In his statement Tuesday, Schwerin said Biden had not been involved, either as a public official or a private citizen, in Hunter Biden's business dealings, nor had he ever been asked to take action on Hunter's behalf. Schwerin said that his role as Hunter's business partner, in his role, he had never asked Biden to get involved with their work. He and Hunter never suggested to or promised their clients or associates that Joe Biden would get involved either. In my discussions with the vice president concerning his personal finances, he was always crystal clear that he wanted to take the most transparent, ethical approach consistent with both the spirit and the letter of the law, Schwerin said. Given my awareness of his finances and the explicit directions he gave his financial advisors, the allegation that he would engage in any improper conduct to benefit himself or his family is preposterous to me. And there it is. Yet again, another so-called star witness turns out to be a dud, which is the least surprising thing about all of this, okay? Yes, this is what happens. Nonetheless, are Republicans going to misrepresent and lie about what was said here? Abso-freaking-lutely. And that's going to be very, very effective towards people who are already predisposed to hate Joe Biden and to believe that he's guilty of something, anything, corruption, whatever, doesn't matter. But here's the thing, though. Something that I've noticed about Hunter Biden is that he seems like he was pretty well aware, and both Hunter and Joe, by the way, both pretty aware of the optics of this entire thing, right? And so that's why they wanted to play it super careful. Now, Hunter, look, he's also aware of the fact that he did get these business opportunities because he's a Biden. Because of that, he wanted to try to prove himself on his own merits, to make sure that he goes out of his way to not include his dad. To me, that makes sense. Now, in doing so, Hunter would prove himself to be, to others, that he could be a productive, successful person and not be someone known as a drug addict or a failure, right? Because, again, he had issues with drugs. And he was able to get over those things. That's a good thing, off drugs, and actually to try to be a productive person again, okay? He was able to pick up his life, to try to do better for himself. That's what everybody should want. It should be a success story, okay? Instead, he's getting dragged all over the mud. Now, he's very fortunate, by the way, to have a wealthy and, yes, very politically connected support system. No doubt about that, okay? But at the same time, there are obvious drawbacks to that. And that's, of course, the scrutiny that it brings, the investigations that it brings. I do believe that Hunter Biden tried to protect his dad from these kinds of politically motivated investigations. In a normal, if we had like a normal functional government, this would not be a thing. There would be no House investigation into Hunter Biden. It wouldn't matter. Hunter Biden's never served in office, and they have no evidence of corruption or any sort of shady dealings. In fact, what Hunter Biden and Joe Biden are accused of, especially Joe and his brother by Comer, is no different than what Comer had done with his brother in swapping property and money and giving sweetheart deals. In fact, Comer, his brother, actually gained $18,000 off one of those land swaps. Very lucrative for them. And yet Joe Biden loaned his brother money, got it back. Joe Biden helped out his son, pay some car payments, and he got reimbursed that exact amount. Doesn't seem like influence peddling to me. Doesn't seem like corruption to me. Seems like, hey, I'm helping you out. And, okay, you helped me out. Now I'm doing a lot better. Now I'm going to pay you back. That's really all it is. Okay? Now, that said, Comer and these House Republicans, they've shown that they've been absolutely just ruthless. And they desperately want to find something to use to hurt Joe Biden politically. They also want to punish Joe Biden for, for the Democrats impeaching Donald Trump. This is part of the revenge tour. It's what they promised to do when they took over the House. And they're doing it. Of course, it's never been about exposing bribery or corruption. If they wanted to do that, there's plenty of real corruption that you can point at. I mean, our entire system of political contributions is great, a great example of corruption. Look, you've got billionaire donors on both sides that give massive contributions to political campaigns. You've got corporations, you've got super PACs. All of that is legalized bribery. Just because it's legal doesn't mean it's not bribery. Okay? But of course, nobody wants to touch it on either side because it helps the politicians get into power. They blanket the airwaves in ads again, that's what this money buys. It buys ads on network television stations, so that benefits the media, of course. And so no one wants to touch it. The media doesn't want to touch it. The politicians don't want to touch it. And of course, the donors don't want to touch it. That's where the real corruption is, okay? But again, Comer, not after that corruption, doesn't want to touch it because it might actually impact him and his donors. Now, getting back to Hunter, though, the final thing I'll say is, if anything, Hunter Biden is guilty of one thing, and that's of being a Biden.